Carwin, I'd just like to tell everybody out there that it's an honor to be your new sheriff, and that after 40 years, I never thought I'd be in this position.
At a minute after midnight on New Year's Eve, Jerry Sheridan fulfilled a long-held dream of becoming sheriff of Maricopa County. The former top deputy to Sheriff Joe Arpaio inherits a long list of challenges. Sheriff Sheridan is here to explain how he'll tackle them. Welcome to Square Off, sir.
Thanks for having me, Bram.
I was telling you earlier, you seemed like a kid on Christmas morning, sitting in your vehicle and talking to your staff.
I was. Just to get to know me a little bit, the happiest day of my life was the day I graduated the Phoenix Police Academy in 1979. The saddest day of my life was December 31st, 2016, when I had to leave. So 40 years I spent there. I loved my job every day, and I really missed it, and I was so happy to get back.
And it really shows. Now, you've got a long list of challenges. We've been following it all very closely for years now. As I said, a lot of challenges. Donald Trump, probably the top of the list. He'll be sworn in 15 days. He's pledged to carry out the largest mass deportation program in the country's history. Beginning on day one in office, Arizona, Maricopa County are certain to be on his list. If the Trump administration asks for your help in this program, will you help?
If it's possible, if it's constitutional, and if it's legal, absolutely I would. But the way I understand it to work out is listening to Tom Homan. They are going to prioritize criminal undocumented aliens. And so that falls right into purview. What a sheriff should do is arrest criminals. And so a lot of those people that are arrested comes through the jail system. And as you know, ICE has been in the jail system, and they put detainers on them. So it's really a seamless effort between local law enforcement and ICE.
So you're just go a layer deeper on how that might work. You would see ICE coming in and removing more inmates from the jails than they have in the past?
Well, it depends on how many detainers they put on the inmates, whether or not there's a different criteria they're going to use to determine whether somebody should be detained and deported or not. It's really a federal government guideline, and we're just all watching in law enforcement, watching what's going to happen next.
Has anybody in the Trump administration been in contact with you? You've been in contact with them?
No.
Not at all?
No.
So it sounds like you're talking about what you say is a seamless effort. Where would you draw the line? Because as you know all too well, we've seen this movie before in Maricopa County. And it did not end well for you or the sheriff or MCSO.
Right.
So where would you draw the line?
There really is no line to be drawn, especially for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, because we are under a court order not to be involved in any illegal immigration issues unless they commit a crime, a state crime. And so that has been our focus. That has been our focus for over 10 years now.
So workplace raids were a feature of Maricopa County enforcement many years ago. What if you were asked to engage in a workplace raid? I'm
not able to do that.
So you're saying you'll stick strictly to what's going on in the jails, and that's it?
Correct.
And it also seems you might not be able to afford to do much more than that,
well, as you know,
given the budget pressure.
One of the things that I've got to deal with is I'm well over 1,000 employees short. So that is also something that weighs into this whole discussion.
Now, you know, many of your voters want you to participate wholeheartedly in whatever it is Donald Trump would like to do, and we don't know what the specifics are. Are you willing to tell them, sorry, folks, we can't do some of this?
I tell them the same thing I just told you. The focus right now, as far as I know, is on criminal illegal aliens. That's what the sheriff does, supposed to arrest bad guys. Whether they're undocumented, whether they're citizens, it doesn't matter to me. If they violate the law and a deputy comes across them doing that, they go to jail. Then it's up to ICE to determine whether there's a detainer placed on that individual or not.
Are there any possible need for more space? For example, if there are going to be more folks detained. We understand there's a build-out going on of facilities, perhaps hold some of these undocumented immigrants. You're the county's jailer. That's your main job.
We have plenty of jail space. We have plenty of beds open and available. Problem is, we don't have plenty of detention officers to fill those positions. I'm almost 1,000 detention officers short.
1,000 short. And I want to go back to one thing you said during the campaign. Back in 2013-ish or so, during the Melendres case, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, MCSO, were found to have violated the civil rights of Latino citizens. The judge accused you and Sheriff Arpaio of lying to his face. I think those were, you remember that well.
Oh, yeah.
I think I was in court that day. How wary do you have to be of what Judge Murray Snow, who is still on this case,
Right.
of how he was going to view whatever you do?
Well, I don't know. I can't get into his mindset, but I would hope that he would have followed me through the campaign, maybe just as a curiosity in the first place, and now that I won the election, and go back and see the things that I've been saying. And, the bottom line is between me and the judge, I think there's just a communication problem, okay? But the other thing is, I want what the judge wants, and that's bias-free policing. End of story.
Okay. Speaking of something you said during the campaign, you did say you would be willing to defy the judge again.
But I didn't say it that way. What I said was, I will always do the right thing. What the judge wanted me to do was wrong, and a bad leadership for me as the chief deputy. And I will not compromise my personal integrity.
Let's talk about the jails. Big problems there: inmate drug use, deaths, not a safe place. You've described the shortage, the worker shortage. How do you deal with that?
It goes back to leadership. Leadership will bring more employees in, some new hires. Leadership will keep people from leaving, so the staffing is an issue. But there's numerous ways. One of the things I always talk about, and I hate to use the word tent city because that's Joe Arpaio's thing, right? And I'm not Joe Arpaio. I know you guys. You guys always like to bring that up, but tents separated the outside trustees from the people inside. That's a big way that drugs come into the system. We need to put more of a focus on the jail intelligence unit that I started back in 1999 that did a great job in keeping the drugs out of the jail. And also the searching, the policies have to be enforced.
You've talked about putting up Quonset huts, military type of huts,
something like that,
on the ground, kind of where the tent city may have been.
Right.
Is that something you're looking at?
Yes.
And Tent City got up to 130 degrees in the summer and 32 or lower in the winter. Would they be insulated? Would they be?
Well, they'd probably
fit
be
for
a little
human
bit.
habitation?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to do this in a humane fashion. And don't forget, I don't care what anybody has ever told you, the inmates, vast majority, not all of them, wanted to be in the tents. Think about it from their perspective. You're going to go to jail for 10 days. Would you rather be locked down in a little cell or outside? Now, yeah, okay, it's hot in the summer. But hey, let's face it, they could get out of the heat, they could go in the day room, they could watch TV, they could stand under the shower all day long. That's something that was not advertised by the sheriff I worked for because he wanted to make it look a lot worse than it was. But the vast majority of inmates wanted to be there, and they volunteered to be there. If they didn't want to be there, they would get locked down. As
you know, just about every journalist in town, including me, has been through the tents in the summer and the winter because Sheriff Joe Arpaio wanted to show them off. I do have to end with Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Has he spoken to you since election night?
I talked to him for a couple of hours about a week after, and I haven't talked to him since then.
What was that conversation like?
He chewed me out for the first hour, and I sat there, and I kind of took it. And then the second hour, we had a nice discussion about who the new sheriff in town is going to be.
Got to end it there. Sheriff Jerry Sheridan, best of luck.
Thank you so much.
When we come back.